All right, it's Kyle and Piper here. We're going to do a little video analysis. What we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this game right here. We're just going to kind of pass the mic back and forth. We'll let you guys kind of just watch things as it plays out. Wow, nice lob. So the first thing that we do typically is when we start the game, we just want to make sure everyone is in the right positions. Everyone looks like they're in the right positions. We want to make sure that they're reasonably engaged and ready to receive the ball. So we'll just let this play out, and then we'll comment as we go.
So yeah, I mean, if we can just pause it for a second. This is a good thing right here. So I had actually talked to Leia and Timmy before this about testing their opponent. I think right at the beginning of the game, I think it's really important. Just pause that. I think it's really important to test your opponent. Like hit them a drive, hit them a drop, hit them a dink, hit them a lob. Test and see where they may be lacking, right? Because some players may be able to handle the drives really well, but then you hit them a dink and it looks like they've never played pickleball before, right? So again, I had told them, hey, let's try a lob, see what happens. And you can see when Andy returns the ball and is running up, it's very difficult and unexpected, right? When Leia hits this lob, to have to stop that forward momentum and then retreat back to get that lob. Now this was a perfect lob, I do have to say, but again, throws off the other team and keeps you unpredictable. So this was a good shot.
Yeah, I love that. I'm always, basically, I say I ask my opponents questions by doing the same thing. I just want to try different things and just expose, any weaknesses that they might have, because, most of the time that you play, you're kind of, playing at a level and everybody's around the same level, but there's certain things, there's certain nuances that you find. Maybe the backhand's a little weaker, maybe the forehand's a little weaker, maybe they don't like certain shots make them uncomfortable, like receiving a slice. So you have to, that's a good thing about the pickleball, is you try different things, use different skills, and you kind of dissect this match, and you start using those things and just try to make the other team a little bit more uncomfortable. What we're going to do moving forward, though, is we're going to refer to everyone as, I'm just going to cue this up to, oh, nice, take a bow. So we're going to refer to the players as server, server's partner, returner, and returner's partner. Just to be sensitive in case this would get in someone's hands, we don't expose anyone's social security number, names, addresses, things like that. All right, so we'll back this up. So I think the position here, there was a lot of footwork on a ball. Oh, I went too far here. So if we look at, when you start seeing the ball off the returner's paddle here, we're going to start organizing our feet and getting ready to receive this. And obviously this is going to be on the left side of our body. But I think the way the feet are organized here is a little bit inefficient, and is taking the server way off the court here. Whereas I think it would have been much simpler is if they would have just turned and shuffled. It would have probably been like 2 steps and they could have taken this ball in the blue. But because you're so chest forward here and then getting on this side of the ball, so you can take this, when you hit your backhand, you can actually take the ball on the left side of your body and your feet would be over here. But by doing this, you give up so much court space. We might say that the server's partner should be sliding over, but they have to be careful because they don't know where this ball is going to go at this point. So they can't really slide over, because if they vacate this spot, then they can go down the line. So I would say when we're receiving the backhand, I would turn first and then either do a shuffle in this direction or just walk in this direction, and then you want to use your left foot for alignment. So this ball is going to come in a straight line. It's not going to come like in a circle or crooked. It's going to come in a straight line. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to organize and get your left foot on the inside path of that ball. Let the ball come by your body here, and then you're going to make contact, and then that way you can be closer to the middle of the box here without giving up so much court space.
Yeah, I think another key here is moving while hitting. So again, it starts with the footwork, but again, when you are trying to like reach for that ball, how do I skip this way? Okay, yeah. Like when you do try, okay, going back. Okay, nice. So he's kind of lunging for this ball, right? Like a little bit off balance. This is why, and very easy to hit pop-ups when you're like this, right? So this ball wasn't, ideally, you'd want to set your feet and either drop in the middle to reset the point, but again, it's a pop-up going right to the forehand, and at that point, you're pretty much, there's not much you can do, right? There's a little bit, but again, you've given it to the guys for returning partner, something. That
was a returner.
Okay, returners overhead. So again, if you ever are on the run, if you just put a little bit of extra mind power into it and can just try to hit a lower shot, a little reset, it can be very difficult while you're running, but that would obviously be the best case. And then that would reset the point. But it's tough when you're on the run.
Yeah, and when you get in this, not to beat this to death, but when you get in this situation, basically, this player becomes a singles player. Okay, so if you're going to be a singles player, then your reset position is home base right here. Okay, that being said, if I were to reset right here, I would probably be sitting on my left foot, knowing that I'm going to really move to cover this side over here, in hopes that my partner might be able to recover and cover this part of the court. So that would be one thing. Is when you're in big trouble, just slide over here. You're going to be playing singles for the next point. Try to reset. Try to get back in the point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Coach timeout here. Oh boy.
Oh yeah, that's some good coaching right there. Oh man, wow, knowledge. So I think there's a little bit of, again, running around the backhand. Just turn your body and hit that with your backhand right there. Yep, because that takes you off the court.
So I like how the returner is going to make this a forehand and puts enough air under the ball to get up to the line. Mm-hmm. That's pretty good. I'm going to digress a little bit because I'm going to show you guys something. It's a little secret sauce, only because I just did this in the last video. So sometimes what I do is I'll put pro player examples, and I'm going to show you this footwork pattern. And this is basically the scenario here where the ball is coming right at you. We call this a crossover step. So notice the right foot crosses over in front of the left foot, and this allows you to keep your momentum going forward versus shuffling to the side. So I think you do a pretty good job here of coordinating and organizing your feet. But if we watch, it's just a little bit of a shuffle, 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 shuffle. And I think that's a ball that you could actually do this kind of footwork right here and just be a little bit more efficient going forward. But it's something you want to practice, right? You wouldn't want to go out there, never practice this footwork pattern and just randomly try to make it work. But otherwise, I think you did a really good job getting up to the line, having to move out of the way. But yeah, when you run around and you disappear from the video screen over here, that puts a lot of pressure on you to really make a premium shot, right? Because your partner's basically playing singles again here, and I think that's what happened there is you're a little bit rushed here, but you're trying not to pop it up because you popped up the last one. So understood. Got him?
I think he got him.
Oh, nice touch. So I want to talk about something. I actually had this conversation with a couple players the other day because they were standing in this spot right here, and it's not a lot of things in pickleball. It's not right or wrong. It's not black and white, but what I like to do is I like to create a little bit of a visual distraction to the player that's receiving the third shot. And what that means is sometimes I'll shift towards the middle and basically represent that I'm covering the middle, but I'm actually going to shift over and I'm going to cover my line.
Yep.
But they don't know that. So,
totally.
So I think the challenge is when you start over here, you show this player that they have no pressure to hit the ball through the easiest spot, which is down the middle. Nice touch there. And I think if you just change things up, so if you do that every now and then, I think that's totally fine. But starting here and being able to do a little fake poach every now and then just kind of keeps your opponents honest. So this little swing volley here, I was going to talk a little bit about this because I see this a lot, and it is a little bit of a technical thing. So if we back up here, so what we want to do on this shot that's going to help you is if we raise up this elbow just a little bit more, so the swing is a little bit flatter trajectory because it's already above the net, right? We don't need to swing upwards that much, but what happens is sometimes we get our feet stuck right here, and then in this case the paddle face was a little bit open, so you could be a little bit flatter with this, and then instead of finishing like way down here because you went from high to low, is just swing more around and across, and I think you'll control that ball a lot better, and then you won't have to worry about having the paddle face open because you're swinging down so much. That's normally what happens, is players will open up the paddle face because they have such downward trajectory on the swing. They have to open up the paddle face, and then it's just not a lot of margin for error to make that shot. So what are your thoughts on the drop volley here? So I have mixed feelings on it worked, and I think it does work a lot in recreational play. I think a lot of coaches say, don't ever drop. They're just inviting the players forward. So I think it's one of those things where, if it's good and the players are back, it's going to work a lot.
I think it, like with a lot of things, it depends, right? If you're playing against people that maybe if you're playing against a 98-year-old that can't walk very well and maybe can't get to the net or something, sure, try it. Or if your opponent's scrambling and off balance and all that kind of stuff, yeah, that's a good shot. But because again, when I play, I'll try to drop these little tennis players, and they're so fast, and they just get up right to the net, and then now they're back on the even playing field that I'm on. So I think it's a win and wear type case. Anytime I think that your opponents are back, it's always a good idea, I think, to keep them back. Again, unless they're like way on the back foot, camping out back there, and you feel confident you can execute that shot enough where they can't get it. But yeah, I think a lot of people try the cutesy little shot, and it provides unforced errors a lot of times.
All right, Piper, so I want to clarify. So you said
Okay.
when you're playing the 98-year-old,
Yes.
is when you drop them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Yep.
goodness.
Oh yeah,
Hyper.
no
Hyper.
mercy. Come on, it's all even. It's all even game.
All right, so
They could beat me at bridge, so.
So ironically, this is Andy is doing a really good job of demonstrating the technique that I was talking about. So see how his elbow is kind of aligned with his paddle, and he goes up together, and then his swing is just around his body. So I think you control that ball a lot better when you swing like that. I know the tendency is to kind of tuck that elbow and we're going to slap it down, but
totally.
you know you're going to miss that a lot if you're just not in the right position. So all right, well, let's take a look at a few more points and then we'll wrap this up. All right. So kind of a little shake and bake here. I like the fact that server's partner was hunting middle here. And then still being aggressive because they noticed that their partner wasn't quite up in position. But ball was just descending a little bit here, and I know it's above the net, and it seems like you can swing pretty flat at this, but
it's dropping.
There's so much downward trajectory. This ball, if you don't hit it so hard, then it's going to go out. So it's just going to deflect down on the paddle, and that happens a lot. Oh, nice reach for the paddle tap there. Wow, I think that's the second lob winner of the game.
Leia Oh, I can't say her name. Shoot. Lobbing is an underrated shot in the game. I'll
100%.
say that. And then the miss of the serve.
I don't know. I think she got hooked there a little bit. We need to go back and take a look at that one.
I remember it was out. I remember.
Looks like that was gray.
It's hard to tell from this angle, but. Oh, you know what? He did call it in. That's right. I think he originally had called it out, but then he was like, no, it was in. So they did give it to her. Yep.
Video doesn't lie.
Yep.
All right, we'll take a look at this one. Nice aggressive move towards the middle.
Totally. Yeah, I think go back one more time.
Sure.
Okay. Just want to pause and then let's watch. I don't even know what the name is for him, but so this was a good drop, and I like that. Pause for a second. Pause.
Yep.
I like that. Was he the server?
Mm-hmm.
The guy closest to us was following his drop in because that puts a lot of pressure on your opponents rather than staying back. So I automatically like that. And then this drop is a good drop, like almost right on the line. And that is where I think, at least for me, when I'm dropping the ball, that's where I'm aiming my drops because it forces that player that you're dropping to decide whether they're going to take the ball out of the air or let it bounce, right? Right when it's at that weird spot where it's right at their feet, I think that's a perfect spot to drop, right there, right? And then he could have either reached in the kitchen and taken it out of the air or backed up and then let it bounce and then hit it. But I think he tried to do it at the same time, which is why the pop-up happened.
Yeah, and sometimes when you're the returner here, and you recognize someone coming in on this ball, I'll just, maybe crash this middle, just kind of take a chance and stick my paddle out there, maybe get lucky, who knows.
Yeah, totally. Because it's a that's the high percentage shot, right? Like when that player comes in to follow that drop, 9 times out of 10 they're going to go middle rather than going. So when this player's middle and the ball's high, they're going to go middle a lot of the time rather than this shot going here. So, yeah, this player could stick out a backhand in the middle. But I think the key here was this player. Let's take a look at this. So this drop was good, but it's coming right down, right? So then your paddle faces down, and the key, I think, is it's either you bend and stick your paddle into the kitchen, right, and take it out of the air as like if you were taking a dink out of the air, or go ahead and back up and let that ball bounce ahead of the ball before hitting it, rather than kind of moving back right as the ball's on you. See that back left foot is dropping, and then you're kind of caught up, and then it's an easy pop-up. So I think just a little bit of a timing thing. See that pop-up there? But, yeah, I think that was a good finish, way to follow in the drop. Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yep. Following in those drops really helps. See, right here they take the aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Another good point. Mm-hmm. Just missed the line, a couple inches there.
This game ended up being like 14-12 or something crazy, I think.
Yeah, I think the returner here did a reasonable. This to me is one of the toughest serves because right-handed players are always going to be camped out in this corner, so they kind of leave this open. And I've probably gotten more aces down the tee here on this side, so that was a good serve. So I think the returner did a really good job. If we look at, I want to see when the ball crosses the net, about right here. Yeah, pretty much up there, not quite on balance. But I think, it's one of those things where, for me, this is going to be a backhand. I know it's I know it's on the right hand side of the body, but I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna take this with the backhand, because when you're jammed up like this, you only have one spot that you can send it, because you just don't have enough flexibility on your wrist to go inside out from this position. So you only have one shot, and that's like right here, where if I had my backhand here, I felt like I could go in this corner over here, I could go middle, I could go down the line. So I think I would just be sitting on my my backhand here when the ball is coming into my body. It's just tough to control it when you're jammed up there and you don't have kind of the dexterity to get your hand out and get that contact point out in front. Wow.
Yep,
amazing
that was crazy.
2-shot sequence there. It's like, okay, I'll see your angle and I'll re-angle you. All right, let's take a look at this last point here, and we'll call it good. All right, we'll back it up here. So I love this return, nice and high. We do have ceilings, but they're 24 feet high. So I think a lot of people get nowhere close to where those ceilings are. And I'm not saying you should hit it up to the ceiling, but I think most people hit their returns a little bit too low. That was nice and deep. Still trying to keep them back. Still fighting. Yeah. And I think that last little flick of the wrist. So on these, you just want to coordinate the arm a little bit more. So I think what happened was your hand stopped right here. So when the hand stops, guess what goes? The paddle tip keeps going. And when that hand stops, that closes the paddle face, because the paddle face is going to continue going, that momentum. So I think just keep that hand going and just coordinate that arm a little bit more, and you can drive that ball, and you would be able to go right here, and you could you know, kind of reset that point. All right. Well, guys, I appreciate your time. Hopefully you got some value out of the videos. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Piper and myself, and we will see you back on the court soon.
Thanks.